Many of us might have questions about refueling the aircraft carriers, and that too in the middle of the oceans, about the difficulties and struggles and the whole procedure out there. In today's video, we will see the super exciting content of refueling an aircraft carrier in the middle of the ocean. We all have heard about the fantastic aircraft carriers, and today we will see them refuel in the middle of the sea. That is too exciting. With no further delay, let's get into the video. Air forces have always been a crucial component of national security, and aircraft carriers play a vital role in offensive and defensive strategies. These enormous ships significantly increase the range of fighter and reconnaissance jets in situations where property operations are impossible. Most aircraft carriers have a carrying capacity of up to 90 aircraft, though most of them are kept on the flight deck to ensure readiness, while others remain below in the hangar bay. The United States currently owns 11 of these floating cities, the most of any nation in the world. They are some of the most versatile and technologically advanced ships in nearly all cases. Warships are the only carriers that frequently refuel at sea. A light line is fired over from the tank using a specially modified rifle as the receiving vessel or vessels approach it. This is attached to the fuel pipe or the receiving vessel's fueling hose, which is hinged over. The necessary gasoline is then pushed across. Even though U.S. aircraft carriers are nuclear-powered and only accept aviation fuel, they still need to refuel at sea. Seeing three enormous ships in such tight formations is highly remarkable. Yet station keeping is crucial because all vessels are currently in motion. Refueling, replenishment at sea, or RAS as it is known in the Royal Navy, is the procedure. Since the first replenishment, when the disturbance was noted in 1899, the operation has made significant strides in efficiency and safety. The first challenge is choosing the replenishment course. Of course, safety from enemy attack is a priority, but the condition of the sea also plays a critical role. Resupplies are typically carried out in Sea State 4 and can be successfully conducted at Sea State 5 with a highly skilled crew on both the supply and receiving sides. The fact that most replenishment ships are large enough to carry out dual transfer rigs for two receivers simultaneously adds to the already challenging problem, and the emergency breakaway protocols that require the vessel to separate instantly. This calls for careful preparation, computation, execution, and focus from everyone on board. The connected unwrapping method is also known as the alongside connected replenishment concept. 2 or 3 ships running side by side must maintain the same course and speed throughout the operation, as any deviation in the system will significantly impact the separation gap on a fast-moving vessel. For this reason, the highly skilled and experienced citizens give their full undivided attention to the distance between the two moving ships. The optimal separation gap varies depending on the speed of the two moving vessels. The standard tensioned alongside process or stream is the most popular connected replenishment method because it enables a more significant separation gap once the supply and receiving vessels are in a parallel position, leaving space for a shot line to be shot across that will serve several functions, including communication and separation marker shot lines, for other replenishment stations, and the transfer process can start. The probe fueling coupling is attached at the end of the hose and has a latching mechanism in the receiver by spring force. It can be detached manually using a manual release lever or when a 2 500-pound line pole is applied. Another method of unrep is vertical replenishment, where a helicopter is deployed to transfer the fuel and other necessary commodities. Though this method is more labor-intensive, the stream rig system can handle loads of up to 8,750 pounds in ideal conditions. Because the helicopter's capabilities constrain the maximum load and transfer speeds, this approach is not ideal for sharing gasoline. The V4 division collects a sample of the transferred fuel for testing. They are in charge of receiving, storing, testing, and providing the JP5 aviation fuel for the aircraft operating on the carrier. The collected sample is spun in a jar to create a vortex to check for water and sediments. The centrifugal cleaner can separate the two from the fuel by spinning at 4,100 revolutions per minute. Only clean, clear, and bright energy emerges from the centrifugal purifier. The NIMITZ-CLASS aircraft carrier can accommodate the operation of 85 to 90 fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters while carrying about 3 million gallons of aviation fuel. Although the nuclear-powered ship can go for years and see without refueling, the aviation fuel it takes runs fast and needs periodic replenishments more than ever. All hands must be clear starboard side hatches. The techniques used by the Naval Force's highly trained personnel to ensure the risky operations runs are carried out appropriately and safely are represented by the presence of the US Navy across the world. Refueling entails removing the reactor's used core and replacing it with a new body that contains new nuclear fuel. Due to its extreme radioactivity, a substance containing spent atomic power must be removed from a reactor using complex radiological and handling measures. Carriers visit the shipyard for what is known as the refueling and complex overhaul process, approximately 25 years into their planned 50-year service life. The ship undergoes a complete restoration and refurbishment that might take 3 to 5 years. Among other things, the reactors are refueled, one for each of their reactors. The ship goes through a lengthy, comprehensive restoration and refurbishment process that could last 3 to 5 years. Reactors are among the objects that get refueled. It will be simple to run out of pilots in high-tempo operations because there are typically 1.5 crews per plane, even with the additional dozen or so pilots on board who can assist. The days can still be very lengthy. Planning for typical military operations takes a few hours. Significant strikes can cause delays of up to a day. You brief a few hours in advance, man up 45 minutes before launch, and then spend about an hour debriefing. In terms of refueling the aircraft, it is done in between flight operations, because they don't allow the supply to fall below a specific percentage. It only takes a few hours. As long as the resupply ships can operate in the same area as the ship's launching strikes, it doesn't severely impede combat operations. The distance will be the teller if the vessel needs to sprint out to acquire the gas. New cores are designed to last 50 years in carriers and 30 to 40 years in most submarines, although having significantly lower capacity factors than a nuclear power plant. They have a lengthy core lifespan, thus refueling is only necessary after 10 or more years. The extensive refurbishment and refueling will cost roughly $5.5 billion. However, a 2014 article in Defense Daily stated that it would have cost approximately $2.5 billion to decommission a NIMITZ-CLASS carrier at the time.
That take place around the clock. During flight operations, the captain can typically be found on the bridge directly involved in the...
With that, we come to the end of the video. Hope you got all your doubts cleared about how the aircraft would get refueled at sea. If you like this video, do like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such information. Also, do not forget to tap on the bell icon for notifications.
Then, it's been upgrade after upgrade to keep the supercarrier, well, super.